Trigger warnings. This episode contains talks of sex trafficking, off page plus discuss, rape that is mentioned but not goes into detail, problematic family members, child abandonment, unable to conceive, and drug addiction. This story also includes depiction of violence that may be sensitive for some readers. So if any of these are off putting for you, I'll see you in the next episode. Quote, Dark souls need love too. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Bibliophile's Bookcase. I am your host, Erica the Bibliophile, and we are here for part 5 of Asia Monique's Misfit Mafia series. And baby, child, it was a road for us to get here. Now, I forgot what day it was scheduled to come out. But when that day came, because I remember it was a Thursday, because Thursday and Fridays are my off days. So I was up just waiting for the release. Like, I'm going to read it. That's going to be my next book on the podcast. And no book came. And then I went to Twitter because I'm like, okay. Because, authors, they always announce their release or if it's being pushed back or whatever. And I don't remember seeing anything the time that I checked. Then I came back, I want to say it was the next day. And you could tell by her tweet she was upset, but there was nothing she could do about it. And then she released a tweet that said there was a glitch that happened with Amazon. And it didn't just happen to her, it was other authors as well. But whatever that glitch was, she now, at that point, did not know when her book was going to be released. So it was a waiting game. But Amazon didn't have any answers. And that was kind of iffy because it's like, why the hell don't y'all know what's going on? And where the hell is her book? And so from what I saw, and I was like, you never know because people could be private messaging her, said something off the wall. But from what I seen on my end, nobody was talking crazy to her or trying to blame her because it's like, as we understood, it's not her fault. This was on Amazon's end. Whether it was a glitch or something with their system, it doesn't matter. So, we all just playing a waiting game. So I believe they told her one day. So then that day came and left as well. So it's just like, okay, Amazon, for real. Because I tweeted a few times and I'm like, I even added Amazon. And I was like, I'm going straight to the source. Like, where's my girl book at? Where is this book? Like, why don't we have answers? Because the other author, I believe that I saw that it happened to, her book got released. And Asia was, like, she shared it. She was like, run her book up. Let's celebrate the fact that her book is released while we still waiting on hers. So it's like, okay. Then her book finally came. I bought it right on the spot because I was like, my girl, she done lost like, I want to say a week worth of would have been downloads and people buying the book or whatever. So, and I'm the Amazon Kindle girl, but I actually purchased the book. I was like, without reading it because her writing good anyway, so I trust it. Boom, bow. And so here we are today with Finnegan and Violet's story. So let's jump into it. So we're starting with the prologue. The prologue is once again going back to Enzo and Lucia's wedding. So Finnegan, like, he had been feeling off his game, like something just in the air. He ain't been thinking, he ain't been doing right. And everybody like, boy, what the hell wrong with you? But this is when he meets Violet. It's like, this is it. My body was basically preparing itself for me to meet her. But this goes back to when Kian had to go away and then tell Gianna that he wasn't gonna be there and she was looking for him and all that type of stuff. So it's just like after she walked away, this is when Finnegan had his first interaction with Violet. And it's not too much going on. They introduce themselves and like she walks away from him and he tells his mama, I just met the woman I was gonna marry. And the mama like, what? Sure you have. Like, what are you talking about? Um, and so he's just really intrigued. And as she's walking away, he thinks to himself, I'm seeing my future walk away from me, Violet fucking Jackson. And so now we're in the present time. And um what is it about? Okay, going back to, we learned from Lucia that Violet is one of the women who was sex trafficked. I think that's the right thing. Um, and she managed to get out. So when we're introduced to Violet in the first chapter, she's killing somebody, and she knows he's one of the guys that is in the chain of command of what happens to women like her. So she gave him something, and is just slowly watching him die. And as he's dying, he's trying to apologize, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She's like, "No, you're not. You're only sorry because in this moment you're dying and you don't want to die. So you think if you say, 'Oh, I'm sorry, I was a bad guy, I didn't mean to,' that would stop Violet from doing what she's doing. But she done already gave him the concoction. So it's just like, I'm just here to watch you die and be satisfied with the fact that I'm watching you die." So she goes to her apartment that she shares with Jasmine, who I believe is the other woman who was also sex trafficked. But Jasmine is hardly ever there anyway. She stays with her boyfriend Dante. And I meant to inbox Asia because I had a question, because I don't know if it's two different Dantes or if this is the same Dante that was flirting with Gianna's best friend Erica. So I need to know. It's just like, did it not work out with Erica? And he like, "Man, I ain't finna waste my time on her," and moved on to Jazz, or are these two different men? Like, I need to know what happened, because I believe that guy's name was Dante as well. But Jazz, the problem with her relationship is Dante thinks that he can, quote unquote, save her and basically like love the trauma out of her. And she doesn't like that. It's basically like, I don't need to be fixed and I don't want you to fix me. So as soon as you realize that and get on board with that, then our relationship can progress to the next level. And I was like, that's an interesting concept, because with most stories like this, if something bad happens to the main character, whoever their love interest is, you do see that person like, "Oh, I want to love you so much and wrap you up and make sure nothing ever hurts you again." And the main character usually falls for that, like, "Ooh, yes, this is what I've been missing since I've been hurt by whatever whatever." And here we have Jazz and Violet, because Violet is also on the same page. Like, I don't want to be fixed. I don't need to be fixed. Who I am is just fine. Like, yes, that happened to me, but I don't need you to try to change who I am now because of what happened to me. So, and also in this, I don't know if I want to call them Joker and Harley Quinn, but it's giving off that vibe, because although their relationship has not progressed in any way, Violet goes to what is it, Philly? Because it's New York, New Jersey, and Philly, like they're all right there together. So she travels to Philly to stalk Finnegan, because it's like she doesn't like pull up to talk to him. She'll park her car like a little ways away and just watch him. But he knows that she's there, and he actually enjoys it. Like, they just play this cat and mouse game. But I believe he's shot at. And when he's shot at, she he takes her to his house. Like, he finally takes her to his place, and their relationship begins to move forward. But she's still a mystery. He doesn't know anything about her except for her name. Like nobody really knows anything about Violet except that her name is Violet, because it's like her history. I believe she's had it like wiped out, so nobody can find anything about her. So, she checks on him, make sure he's all right. He's patched up, but has to be like he has to take it easy. Basically, he can't do his job. So while he's recovering, Violet goes back to um, Lucia and Luca, and although she's not like quote unquote officially a part of the family, she is a part of the family. So he has her go undercover to do some work. So Finnegan goes to Luca's restaurant because he's like, "Nah, I need to know where my baby at. Like, where she at? What's she doing? Like, y'all just telling me she's good. Don't do nothing for me. Where the fuck she at?" So, oh, and that was another thing too. So when Asia was promoting the book, she was like, "I'm telling y'all now that Luca and Finnegan don't like each other. So it's just like y'all may be prepared to pick a side." And it's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. But in this case, if I had to pick a side, I think I would have picked Finnegan's side. I think, because I love Luca, but I don't. But Finnegan was right. Like this my little yeah. You can't come between us. So I would have picked Finnegan's side. It's like you don't do her like that. Because if somebody would have did you like that, pertaining to Gianna, you would have blown the whole city up. So back your ass up. You know he a good dude. Like I could see if Finnegan was known to be on some bullshit, but he not. So don't do him like that. But he don't give him no information. Luca doesn't give him any information. But when Finnegan walks away, this man had a little device where he cloned Luca's phone to get the information to where she could be at because he didn't tell him anything. So Finnegan has a cousin who's like, what is it? She's like a hacker or whatever, so she could find out whatever information. So, but she really didn't find out anything. And when they make it back to their part of town, Lucia is waiting on him. And she's like, I need that phone that you cloned to my brother's. And basically, like, watch your back. Because fucking with my brother or fucking with Violet, if anything happens to either one, I'm on your ass. And, don't nobody want to fuck with Lucia because she's just that girl. So watch your fucking back. Um, but she also sees, because she's talked to Violet. Violet like him. She on his body, you know. But she like, nigga, don't make me fuck you up. Um, and so, but Finnegan found out that there was a police report filed on Violet as a missing person like a year ago, but that's literally it. Like that's all he could find out about her. And when she finds out that information, she's like, "Who filed it?" But there was no name attached to it, so you couldn't say. So she's like, "Who the hell been looking for me?" Because when she was kidnapped and taken into sex trafficking, she was 21 in college, and it's been a while. Like I forgot how many years, but it's been a long time. So she is thinking like nobody should be looking for me. Nobody knows anything about me. And so what happens after that? So he finds her at like a stash house and helps her in her mission. It's like, nigga, you ain't supposed to be nowhere around here. But he's like, I'm not leaving, so let's do what we got to do because there's a we now. Um, and then we can leave. So he helps her with the murder that she has to commit. And also, so like after that, the relationship is taking another step. And he finds the man that she's really been looking for who played a major part in her life taking the turn for the way it is. And he had him strung up. And she was upset at that because she was like, what is this? Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, he gave her the knife. He's like, I want you to do what's gonna make you feel better or whatever you want to do. And she goes into this thing of, I don't need to be fixed. He's like, I'm not trying to fix you. I'm here for whatever you want, whatever you need. If this makes you feel better, do it. Like, I like this shit too. That's why I call them Joker and Harley Quinn, because it's like they like the bloodshed. They like getting their hands dirty. It's fun for them in a way. So it's just like, this is what we gonna do. So, she gut the shit out that nigga. And after that, I think they have sex. So it's just like, thank you for this. Let's go. And so, okay, wait. Because with Finnegan, Sean, who is the oldest brother, who like is preparing, excuse me, to take over because their dad is about to step down. So then Finnegan is going to step into Sean's place. But before that happens, Sean had to. Okay, I jumped way ahead. Sorry. But Sean had to step away. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get his story soon. Maybe not, but somebody had been hacking into their shit and messing with like their deliveries and stuff and where their trucks were going and stealing their shipments or whatever. Come to find out, it's some woman by the name of Blair. Blair was Sean's like ex-girlfriend, or they've been doing this thing their whole life. So he has to go and basically quote unquote get her, and he know he coming back married because that's his woman. So he got to go straighten her out. So while he's gone, Finnegan steps in to Sean's role while he's gone because it's like, somebody got to run this. Um, and so he had to maneuver into that spot, no longer just doing what he does, because he would never tell. Because Violet, like, what do you do? He's like, I do what I do. Like, basically, you don't need to know. But when, because once they found out who did it, then basically, like, his time was more so focused on Violet, is what I want to say. Um, but come to find out, one night, that's what it was. I was like, what am I missing? One night when she was on her way home, somebody like was trying to kidnap her. Come to find out, it was her baby brother, and he thought that the baby brother thought Finnegan was like one of the bad guys who forced her to live the way she's living now. And so she has to tell him like, no, you're completely wrong. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. But he was just her baby brother who missed his sister, and he just wanted her back home, like thinking he was gonna save her. And so she gets the gun away from him, and Finnegan was about to kill him, but she's like, no, you can't kill my brother. Like, yeah, what he did was stupid, but you're not killing my brother. Um, oh, I forgot. So Finnegan, he has this like young 17-year-old boy that he's looking after. He lets him work, do little things here and there, and he gives him money. Because he had tried to, I ain't gonna say kill, but like he kind of ran up on them because his older brother had got killed. But it's like, that was your brother's fault. Like, nobody told him to cross the family. So he's taking that money to take care of his sick mother. And Violet also feels like a pull towards him. Like, basically, he their grown son that they looking after, or their youngest brother that they had to become a father and mother figure of. That's who was with, not Finnegan. Oh my God, that's where I'm messing up at. So it was Violet and the young man, because he was like her bodyguard that night, and he tried to protect her, but he couldn't because he kind of jammed up at the sight of the gun. But Violet was able to like get the gun away from her brother. Boom, there we go. My bad. I got it. I'm here. I'm together. I got it. I got it. Um. So in the end, Violet goes to see her mother, and it's like she's trying to have basically find closure with her mother. But her mother is a crackhead who reveals that she is the one who actually sold her daughter into the trafficking and for a fee. So she got money for giving her daughter away and forcing her into that life. So of course Violet killed her, shot her ass the fuck up, and I wasn't mad at her at all. Like, man, fuck your mama. How could she do that to you? And Finnegan, like, she thought she was going there by herself, but of course Finnegan was right there. So he called somebody to come clean it up. He's like, that's it. That's a wrap. You ain't got to worry about it no more. You found out the information you needed to find out, and that's it. And so they're getting married. Now, this is where I messed up at. So the day of the wedding is when their dad, what was his name? They call him Da because they're Irish, right? Yeah. So he's stepping down. So Sean is now the head of the family, and then Finnegan is going to be running Philadelphia. So he goes to where Violet is getting ready and knocks on the door. And I think Jazz opened the door. She's like, "No, you cannot see her right now." He's like, "Man, tell her to come to the door and get your ass out my way." And she told Violet. Violet came to the door and said, "If you're here to cancel this wedding, I'm going to kill you." But he sees that as like her love language. He's like, "Ooh." Like, like, girl, stop talking to me like that in this, were they in a church? Wherever they was at. No, because they was cussing. I don't think they was in church. Um, so he's like, how would you feel about me taking over as the head of Philadelphia? And she's like, baby, I would be so proud of you. I would, want to be right by your side. Like, is that what's happening? He's like, girl, hurry up and let's get married. Like, it's some shit I want to do, boom. And so, you know, and she tells him, like, you'll do great things. And he says, with you, I'll do great things with you. And her wedding dress is black. I said, why is Asia and Be Love after my heart with these black and red wedding dresses? I love it. But anyway, that's their happily ever after. Now, I was excited for this book because I wanted to know what happened, but I think I've already expressed that the one I'm really waiting on is the next one. Now, I don't know if this is the final one or not, but it's personal. Anyway, it's Rocco's story, and y'all know how I feel about Rocco. The fact that that man laughed when he found out that there was a hit out on his life, I need to know his story. I feel like I'm gonna love Rocco. That might be the real Joker, but for right now, Finnegan and Violet got it, and we'll see what happens next time. Peace and blessings, my beautiful people.